Hey guys, it's Luke's Little Space. So today I wanted to show you a specific app that I think is great and I recommend for you guys to use. It's called Wattpad. Wattpad. Okay, so here is where they put recommendations of kind of books they think you should read, like Baked Love, If I Fall, Life Sucks When You're Married to a Billionaire, Bully and His Crush, Suits and Tie, or you can go to browser and get all these different genres like short stories, urban, werewolf, teen fiction, science fiction, romance. Here's my account. I have one story, which is about a girl and her parents get in a car crash and Emily's world turns upside down. So we're going to go to here, and I'm going to view it as a reader, and I'm going to read you guys the story. Again, the story is called Change, and the story is about a girl and her parents get in a car crash, and Emily's world turns upside down. The crash. Hi, my name is Emily. This is my mom and my dad. You may think we're a typical family, but when I was 9 years old, my brother, who was 16, committed suicide. I was the one to walk in and find him dead. This was the time of the year we go and visit my grandparents. There goes my mom and dad fighting again, says Emily. 30 seconds later, boom, crash goes the car. Emily wakes up in the hospital a week later. As the nurse walks in, she asks her nurse, "What happened? Where am I?" The nurse says, "Emily, you were in a car crash and you were in a coma for a week." Emily says, "Who's Emily? I don't know Emily." "Sweetie, that's you. Your name is Emily," the nurse says. The grandparents were waiting in the waiting room as the nurse walks in and says, "Emily's grandparents?" Her grandparents say, "Here we are, here we are. We've got some good news and bad news. The good news is that Emily's going to live. The bad news is that Emily doesn't remember anything. She doesn't even remember her own name," says the nurse. The nurse says, "If you'd like to see her, you may." Her grandparents walk in and say, "Hi, sweetie." Emily looks at the nurse very confused and says, "Who are these people, and why are they calling me sweetie?" The nurse politely responds, "These are your grandma and grandpa, your mom's mom and dad." Emily says, "I don't know who in the hell these people are or what they want with me." The doctor comes in. "Emily, it's time for you to go home with your grandma and grandpa." Emily says, "Doctor, like I told the nurse, I don't know who Emily is. I am not Emily, and why would I go home if these people are complete strangers?" The doctor says, "Well, whatever your name is, you have no choice. By law, you must go home with grandma and grandpa." So Emily's grandma and grandpa pack her bags, get her in the car, and say thank you to the doctors for doing whatever they could do. When I get to the house, her grandma shows her to the room. Emily sits there on the bed, very confused. Grandma walks in and says, "I know you may not remember me, um, but every year, the same month, you would come over and your brother, well, before he died, and you guys would come over and party, but you were in a bad car crash. Your mother and father died to save your life. You were born with the name Emily. Emily is who you are." She looks up at her grandma and says, "I may not remember you, but thank you for taking me in." That night, as she laid there in her bed, she had a dream of her brother of that night he committed suicide. She calls for her grandma and says, "Why can't I remember anything of my past? But I remember one thing. I remember my brother committing suicide, and that's all I remember from my past. Every time somebody calls me Emily, it makes me mad, because that's not me. I'm not a girl. I'm not what you think I am." Her grandpa walks in and says, "You you are a little girl. You have always been our precious little girl, dressed up in those little dresses with grandma having tea parties." She runs to the bathroom crying. She says, "I'm not a girl. I'm not that name you guys call me. I am Gabe. I was born a boy, always was a boy, always will be a boy. Her grandma and grandpa start to worry about her, so they take her to doctor after doctor, but doctors couldn't find anything wrong with her. But what happened when she was in that car crash? They started taking her to therapy sessions after therapy sessions. The therapist couldn't find anything wrong except for what the doctors had said that day she woke up from a coma. The therapist had said that it's normal to be this way when you have short-term memory. It's normal when you can't remember anything from your past but the death of your brother. This person is just trying to start their life over again from scratch, from the beginning. There is a 0.1% chance that her memory could come back at the past before the accident. I recommend that you take her to places she would go as a kid. Show her her past, the person she was meant to be, always was, and always will be. You gotta take baby steps, one thing at a time. If it takes 2, 3, 10, 400 times to take her to a place, there as many times as it does for her to remember who she was and always will be. Don't force it. It only makes things worse. I would like to set up an appointment about once a month from now. Within that month, I'd like you to take her to 3 places from when she was a kid. Tell her how it relates back to when she went there at a specific age. Come back within that month. Tell us how it went. A month goes by. So, how did everything go? The therapist says. And that is the end that I have so far. So this will also show you last updated. And I'll show you like other stories like my best friend, my cheating mate or something. Which it just shows you all this stuff. And so yeah guys, that is my story so far. Yes. So if you guys want to add me, this is my name on there. If you guys would like to read my stories and stuff, that would be fantastic. But yeah guys, I think that ends this video for today. I just wanted to read you guys my story and stuff and kind of show you guys what I've been up to. And I'm going to be continue writing my story, so once I get more into it, I will update you guys on it and stuff. Well guys, until next time, have a great day, and I love you guys, and see you later.